Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where last episode we launched another one of these flights up to the ISS. We did fail the recovery, but that was 100% my own fault. I accidentally maxed the throttle at a very bad time, and we'll try to make some mitigating changes to the system in the future for that. Perhaps through thrust limiting, perhaps through turning off some engines. We'll see what that ends up looking like. For the time being, of course, we need to head to the ISS, so let's warp on forward here on our primary mission. We've got 2 hours to go until we are in position for this burn. And now it's 1 hour, half an hour, 15 minutes, and 1 minute. Let's continue to warp a little bit further. 40 seconds, 30, 20, 10, and... oh, that came out of the time warp snappier than I expected. 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. So off we go. That should be close enough. 0.9 meters per second is not too bad. And where are we? 19 kilometers separation with a relative speed of 29 meters per second. Okay, that is a really slow relative speed. I'm going to pull us towards a little bit more here. Okay. It went back up. We had a pretty small amount of leeway there. But we're just going to warp to about here now. And once we get there, we'll be in target mode and we'll do some corrective burning here. So let's just get ourselves over to here. There we go. Once we get warped into position here, we'll do a corrective burn. So this is going to be towards target. Relative speed is only 48 meters per second. This is going to need to be like way out over this way, which is going to be a little awkward, of course. I want to be in kill rot. Thank you very much. And we're going to burn it almost retrograde here. Okay. Now relative speed is starting to come up. And yes, this does delay our intersection. That's understood. We're going to need to do a little bit more correction out over this direction. That is decent. Okay, relative speed of only 30 meters per second. I'm going to head over to the descending node here, warping 5 minutes into the future. And we're going to do another corrective burn out over this way. So we're still 5.2 kilometers off. This is pretty off as far as that goes. We're going to need to be burning about here or so. And we can watch this separation just slowly make its way on down as we correct this on in. Excellent. 1.5 kilometers separation. And that's 0.1. That looks decent. So now we're going to head over to relative velocity minus. We can see we're 5.5 kilometers away from the station now. And we'll just get into position for this burn. It's only 54 meters per second relative speed, and that's actually going down right now. So it's going to be 53 by the time we get there. Okay. Well, that's absolutely fine. We're going to warp in here. A little faster. And we're loading in now, so you know what that means. Goodbye, frame rate. Fantastic. Luckily, I don't think we need all that much frame rate here. Actually, hang on. This frame rate is not as bad as it has been in some previous times. Okay, I like that. It's quite variable, and I don't know why, to be honest. But we need to bring this down to, like, I don't know, 700 meters out. Okay, so we're pretty close to that here. I'm going to commence our braking burn now, bringing us down to about 5 meters per second relative. And yeah, we're a little off, but that's okay. Okay, 4 meters per second. I guess that's fine. So this is the direction that it would be ejecting in. Okay, cool. What I want to do is I want to bring it out over this way, and we're going to put us in kill rot. And I just want to eject this away from the station. So somewhere out over this direction. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to move us back over to relative velocity minus. And we're going to warp in quite a bit closer. We're still 500 meters out, right? So we need to bring this on in. We can also open up our docking port here. So we will open this shield. And where are we going to be docking? Well, we're going to be docking to the same location that we did previously. And Bill is over here somewhere. He kind of hitched a ride up here. So that's reasonably fine. Okay, so we're going to want to be docking up over here. We need to get to the other side of the station. Sure. I want to rotate us to be about here. RCS on. And I'm going to give us some directionality in this direction. Cool. And we'll put this just in kill rot for right now. There we go. Because we're going to need to go down once we get up and over here, and we're already pretty up and over. So we're just going to bring this guy down to somewhere around here. How's that looking angle-wise? Better. But it's not perfect. That's fine. It doesn't need to be. Okay, so let's make our way over to this side of the station, and we're going to be looking to dock up in this docking port. So we're going to set that as our target. Did that actually... That as our target. There we go. That's the one that we want. And I do want to continue to bring us in the downward direction here. And we're going to have to start heading a bit in the forward direction as well. So we're just going to start doing some of that. Okay. We're just bringing this on around, and we can start pointing at target now. And we're just rotating our speed on around over to point at this target, right? And pretty soon we're going to need to get rid of that verticality. In fact, I'm going to start working on that now. And we're just bringing this guy right on around. We're going to overshoot in this direction, looks like, but that's reasonably fine. Come on back. We had a lot of speed going this way. Okay, sure. We're down to 2.5 meters per second, and yeah, I think we are going to slightly overshoot here, but it's getting better. No doubt about that. Gonna need to bring this guy up a little bit and do something kind of like this. Yeah, that looks decent. So we're gonna need to go out this way, right? No doubt about that to get this docked in. So that is going to be in this direction. So that's basically up here. Sure, that's fine. So we're going to head on over. Looks decent, all things considered. This is not bad. Actually, in terms of verticality, we're in a pretty decent spot here. I don't hate that. Okay, just changing up our orientation ever so slightly here. We're going to want to be heading out over this way quite soon. We're approximately in the right position for that. We're heading in at 1.2 meters per second right now, and I would like to slow that down a little bit here. So let's work on bringing that down. We're a little bit not quite lined up, so that's going to be slightly concerning. Okay. In terms of verticality, we're going to need a little bit of verticality here. So let's bring this on up. We definitely need a little bit more. We overshot slightly on the way down. That's fine. Getting very close here. Very, very close. This is probably about where we need to be. We can just bring that guy right back over. In terms of this direction, we're going to need to head slightly over here. But not very much. Something like that is probably enough. So let's bring this on in, and docking forces may take it from here, or we may be slightly too high. I think that that is a slight possibility here. So we'll just do something kind of like that. And we'll just bring this right on in. So of course we're going to be putting a new docking adapter right over here. That is the goal. Docking forces will take over very shortly here. And there we go. Clean dock. I like it. So with us docked up, we are of course going to have Bob, who or rather Bill, who decided to stay here, EVA. I don't know how he got over to, I assume he's here? I don't know how he got there, but you know what? Okay, I guess it's fine. We'll just keep him here, and he'll have an easier time grabbing from here anyway, so that seems okay. We're just going to need to install this and head on back, so this should be relatively quick. I'm going to grab this guy, rotate it right on around, and attach it right there. And then we just have 2 more parts to move, right? So that's all we need to do here. Although this time, Bill is coming home with us. No doubt about that. So we're going to grab this guy and place it there. And I hope we can reach this final part. I suspect we can. There we go. Ah, we've got this going on. Yeah, it'll take a little bit for this docking port to decide that it wants to be grabbable, apparently. We can try boarding and unboarding here. So Bill, you can EVA here, and we'll see if doing that reinitializes it or whatever. That would be a good thing, no doubt about that. Okay, Bill, head on out, and let's see what we've got going on here. So, we need to position the camera, where are we? Out over here, yes. That did actually reinitialize it, so that looks good. There we go, we got it, and flip it around and attach it. What? No, attach it. There. Okay, I believe it's attaching. Yeah. There we go. All looks good. So now Bill can let go. And he's going to head back over here. You're coming home with us this time, Bill. You're not staying on the station. That is not allowed. Okay, so Bill boards. And we're done here already. We could leave this docking port. In fact, you know, we might want to. So we'll have Bill EVA one more time. We'll just store that docking port, and then we'll call it good. But that's all we need to do here. It was not a particularly large mission, but that's fine. So we're just going to deposit that here. And as soon as that goes in, it takes a little bit for the game to get caught up. There we go. As soon as that goes in, we're going to board again. I'm going to check to make sure that he did not board the hitchhiker storage container. He did not. Okay. So now we're going to undock here. We're done here. We're going to head home. Fantastic. So we're going to head on over to the shuttle here. Or not the shuttle. That's been a little bit. We're going to head on over to the Dragon capsule, Killrot, and RCS away from the station. There we go. Let's head over to orbital retrograde and see what direction that's in. And we do not need to have this shielded docking port opened up, so we can close that at this point as well. So the direction of retrograde is basically directly away from the station. That seems great. We're absolutely going to head in that direction. So I'm going to use our Super Draco thrusters here to push us away from the engine. Of course, this is not how this is supposed to be done, but let's do that. And I'm also going to use RCS simultaneously. So let's see how far down we get this. These are, of course, a little bit on the loud side. But farewell, station. What is going on here? That must have lost power at some point? Okay. Awkward. Okay, we'll have to fix that at some point too, I guess. But it's not going to happen right now. We're already leaving when well, actually, let's just take a quick look at it. What do we got going on here? Is this one of these unpowered ones? No motor's engaged. It just needs to be reset here. Okay. Problem solved. Beautiful. So, no issue whatsoever there, and we're just going to keep on decelerating. Where are we? Oh, there goes our booster, actually. Wow, it was, we weren't there very long, that's for sure. We were only there for a couple minutes. We are about halfway to the unload point, at which point we'll be able to move much more quickly. And I've forgotten what I was going to say before I noticed the booster. Oh, we managed to fix that nice and quickly, and yeah, it was just it lost power and needed to be re-engaged. No problem whatsoever. No actual Kerbal attention required there, and that's very, very good. So we're now about 2 kilometers away from the station. It'll be unloading in about half a kilometer. And we're continuing to accelerate here, of course, or rather decelerate. So 2.4, and it'll despawn about now-ish. Yep, it is currently despawning. There we go. And we're smooth. So let's physics warp and bring this guy right on down. Excellent. So it doesn't matter which way we eject the trunk section, toward or away from Kerbin. I just want to do it like perpendicular to our orbital vector. So that'll be the idea here. As before, I'm going to be bringing this down to about -60, which seems absolutely fine in terms of recovery. That's no problem whatsoever. We may want to run another couple of tests on the recovery, specifically on where to thrust limit it and... Well, specifically on where to thrust limit it and or which engines to turn off. Although I may just run those as part of our ISS missions. We've proven that the recovery is possible, and it's just a matter of execution, right? So I'm reasonably content with that, all things considered. And how many ISS Dragonflights do we have left here? Because, I mean, there's been quite a lot of ISS Dragonflights between, like, the crewed flights and the uncrewed resupply flights. There's been a lot. But in terms of actual flights as part of the construction of the ISS, there aren't that many. So I'm not sure how much more of the ISS we actually have to do. I'll have to check, but I don't think it's a lot. So we're bringing this down into a truly suborbital path at this point. We've been suborbital for a little bit. We're going negative in our periapsis as of now. Beautiful. And we're just going to bring that down to -60. Continuing to just slowly decelerate. Slow and steady wins the race with this one. Absolutely. That's 30, so we're about half there in terms of our periapsis. 40. 50. That took a little longer than I thought it was going to, but that's 60. Fantastic. So now I'm going to point us to just up. It doesn't matter which one. RCS can be off, and we're going to be jettisoning our trunk section now. There we go. And now we're going to hop over to surface velocity minus, and we can begin to warp. As we fall here, I'm going to check to see how many flights we have left for the ISS construction. So let's see here. We're on IDA 3 right now. 1, 2, 3. And then we have a Proton launch. And then we have 3 Soyuz launches. And then 2 more Falcon 9 launches. Is what we have thus far. Of course, the ISS isn't completely finished as of yet. But that's as far as we're going to go. So that seems reasonably fine. We don't have that many Falcon launches left. But we have enough, I think, to do some testing, or at least to refine the technique a little bit. So it seems okay. Yeah, our trunk section burns up a bit. That is fully expected. And there goes those G-forces as we decelerate. Gotta love it. Drogue's out, and main's out. And we're good. Fantastic. So the next flight here is going to be Bartolomeo. Noted. And that ends up going on to the Columbus European Lab. Sure. That's absolutely fine. I'm wondering what we're going to make it look like. But that's probably a job for next episode, I think, at this point. So we're just going to gently waft on down to the ground. Eventually. It does take a little bit for this thing to land, of course, and a land landing is certainly not ideal. There's no doubt about that. Question is, will our heat shield survive? Last time it didn't, but most times it does. It should be okay here, I think. Oh yeah, absolutely fine. So we'll just recover that. Of course, we get much less recovery money out of this because we failed to recover the booster, but we'll get better at that. I really think that the core issue there was just I hit the Z button and I shouldn't have. That's what it comes down to, right? And that's fine. Like, that's pilot issue. It's just very touchy once it gets down to that final approach period. And how many failures did SpaceX have doing that in reality before they succeeded? It was a lot. It was quite a lot. And they had a lot of the same sort of failures. So, sure, that's absolutely fine. We do need to get our payment for that mission, and so we shall. And then as far as Bartolomeo goes, we have a couple of minutes here. I wonder if we have enough time to design it. Let's see if we can find a decent look at it. I'm not immediately finding one here on the page, which is unfortunate. But, yeah, this doesn't have a photo. We can definitely see the Bartolomeo science platform in this diagram here. It is located here, like on the side of the Columbus European Lab. So it looks like it's not very substantial, for sure. We might want to have it be like self-piloting and grab onto it. That might be the best way to end up deploying that. Quite possibly. I think for the time being, I'm going to say that we can do that next episode, mostly because I'm not immediately finding a decent image of it, but I'm pretty sure that that's all we need to do, and that's not going to be a big deal. We can just make it up if we need to, but I'll do a little bit of research, see if we can find some decent imagery on it, and next episode, we'll get that constructed. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kintogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.